We're moving up on 7 a.m. It is a foggy start to our morning. Let's take a live look now. I want to show you what the approach here on 275 to the Skyway Bridge looks like. You can see a little bit of fog there, and even to our north and to our east even more so. So just be careful if you're headed out early this morning. As the sun comes up, it's going to take a little while for that fog to go away. But once it does, we have a nice warm day on the way. Meteorologist Josh Linkers in the Weather Center. All right, Josh, much like yesterday, it sounds like?
Yeah, we starting off with some fog, and then through the day we're going to warm up nicely. We'll take a look outside here, our Sky 9 Network camera. Now that we're getting the light of day, we can see this, and there's really not much to see. This is our view in Tarpon Springs, brought to you by Dimmitt Chevrolet, and from there we'll swing over to our view in Hudson, also looking foggy. This is brought to you by Winters and Yonker, and we'll look at the visibility now around the area. We are down around a quarter mile or less in Polk County. Bradenton now reporting a quarter mile. Brooksville, Inverness, and Crystal River the same. And temperatures right now 70 in Tampa. Lots of upper 60s though around the area. Rather warm for this time of year. Last Bucks game of the season is a home game. Going out to do some tailgating this morning. We've got the fog for the next couple of hours. Otherwise just warm and muggy. Should be up around 77, 11, 12 o'clock, and then kickoff at 1. And through the game will be in the low 80s with a partly sunny sky. I'll have much more on your forecast coming up in just a few minutes with weather on the 9s. But for now, Holly, back to you.
And if you're out on the roads this morning, thing to watch out for is fog. Just slow down. It's pretty foggy out there in places. Let's get the update now at 7:09. Josh Linker joins us. And how's it looking now, Josh?
Well, we have some dense fog out there, Holly, in some spots. Not everywhere. Or right around Tampa Bay, things are better than other spots, northeast and south. We're looking outside from Weeki Wachee. This is our camera brought to you by FBC Mortgage, and we are seeing some reduced visibility out there this morning. From there, we'll go to Crystal River. Same kind of thing here. This is brought to you by Listed.com, and it is a foggy start to the day. We'll look at the temperature. It's 64 in Crystal River. That is the dew point. That is why we have the fog. Combine that with the calm wind, and we have some reduced visibility. Right around Tampa Bay, Tampa is reporting 9 miles of visibility, but just to the east, Brandon, about a quarter mile. Polk County, we have reduced visibility. Bradenton, reduced visibility. Our northern counties, the same. I expect about an hour or two before things improve, and then things look pretty good for much of the day, similar to yesterday, and then we'll see some of that sea fog coming in later on. Overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, we'll see some more dense fog to begin your Monday, and then through the day, the sun will return at least in part, and then heading out for New Year's Eve at the strike of midnight at 12 o'clock, heading into 2019, there'll be a little bit of fog coming back in, but we're going to start to see some drier air coming in to limit our fog potential heading into the first couple of days of the new year. 70 right now in Tampa, 67 in Brooksville, 70 at Haines City, St. Pete at 66. And as we look at the satellite imagery, I'm seeing a lot more cloud cover excuse me, to the north of us. That's where we have some showers. And that's all going to stay to the north of us as well. And we're looking rain-free for today. So here's your forecast. Partly sunny. Some sea fog may come in later, again along the coast, 82 for the high. Overnight tonight, mostly cloudy and humid areas of fog, 66 degrees. And tomorrow, partly cloudy. Some fog may come in again late along the coast, the high of 80. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast at 7:19. But first, here's another look at Klystron 9. Good morning, and thank you for joining us here for Weather on the 9s. I'm meteorologist Josh Linger. What we're talking about this morning is warm and humid weather continuing around the area as we close out 2018 and begin next year. And we're also going to be dealing with some foggy times, some in the mornings and then along the coast later in the days. And we'll have that for a couple of days before some changes come up. And that's when we'll also get rid of the warmth and humidity and bring in some cooler weather by the first weekend of 2019. So that frontal boundary is to the north of us. It's pretty much falling apart. We remain warm and humid. We notice these clouds here coming in from southwest to northeast, and that is the flow of air aloft. The jet stream is translating that moisture in that direction. But we also see everything kind of going up and over our area. We're protected by a ridge of high pressure that is also keeping us warm. But things will change down the line as a cold front comes in and eventually changes up the weather pattern. So we've got a few more days of the warm and humid conditions with overnight and coastal fog. And then by Thursday, that's when that front will come in, giving us a chance for some rain late in the day, perhaps lingering into Friday morning. And behind that front, we'll get some cooler weather. We'll go back below average for a couple of days. So for today, partly sunny skies come in. Some fog returns to coastal areas later in the day. We're going to have a light southerly component to the wind. Might come on shore later in the day. County by county, another warm day for you in Citrus County. 79 in Homosassa Springs, but 83 in Hernando. In Hernando County, we'll have a high of 84 in Brooksville. We notice things cooler along the coast. That'll be on account of an onshore wind coming over the cooler waters and or the coastal fog that will develop. Hudson at 77, but Dade City at 84 today. Temperatures in Polk County warm to about 83 to 84 under a partly sunny sky. It'll be a warm day in Manatee County for the most part. 84 in Lakewood Ranch, 82 Bradenton, just 73 for you along the coast at Anna Maria. Pinellas County will see a partly sunny sky with some fog coming back in. A high of 78 in Dunedin, Clearwater 76, Pinellas Park, you will warm to 78 degrees. And finally in Hillsborough County, it will be warm again, partly sunny. Tampa 82, Temple Terrace the same, Brandon at 82 degrees. Now if you have boating plans, the only real issue will be the potential for some reduced visibility with that fog out there. Southeast wind light may switch to the north-northwest. A light chop is expected on the inland waters. And around Tampa Bay and the Suncoast, same kind of thing here. Areas of fog southeast to northwest wind at 10. A light chop is expected on the inland waters in Tampa Bay. Here's your 7-day forecast, and we'll stay warm. Tuesday 79 for New Year's Day, 80 on Wednesday, lows in the low to mid 60s by then. Thursday I put in a rain chance later in the day, 74. And on Friday, there you go, we'll bring back that cooler weather at 64. Next Saturday, sunshine will return with a high of 66 after a chilly morning. That's your 7-day forecast. Here's the latest pollen forecast. It is for the next 3 days, and we're getting into the higher category now. This is brought to you by Famous Tate Appliance and Bedding Centers. It's time now for the latest from Klystron 9. It's just about half past the hour. Good morning, and thank you for joining us here for Weather on the Nines. I'm meteorologist Josh Linker, and it's another warm one out there, but we've had the fog this morning. I do expect it to break up a bit. 78 by lunchtime. We'll stay cooler near the coast, and then some coastal fog comes in later on. It'll also remain a cooler day along coastal spots. 82, though, most locations, and then the fog will be around this evening as temperatures back off slowly. Heading to the beach today, some of that fog will come in later. Otherwise, not too bad. That onshore wind will develop. The water temperature is 68. The sun will set at 5:45. We do have some changes coming up in a few days. We'll talk more about that and your New Year's forecast with Weather on the Nine. Time is 7:39. Good morning. I'm meteorologist Josh Linker. Thanks for staying with us here for your morning news. And we have a little bit of fog out there, but it has been lifting in a few spots. A cool shot here. This is from Tarpon Springs. Our view brought to you by Dimmitt Chevrolet, and we can see the ground fog over the Tarpon Springs golf course right now. This was more shrouded in fog just a short time ago, but things are lifting, and that's going to set us up for some sunshine as we go through the day. From there, we'll move to St. Petersburg. Our view brought to you by crowncars.com. And we had some fog earlier and now just some low clouds. Actually, you can make out a little bit of fog out there at the moment. Temperature in St. Pete, 67. That is the dew point, and with the calm wind, that all together leading to some of that fog formation around the area. Our inland spots, our northern spots, and our southern spots all have greatly reduced visibility. We're reporting 0 visibility in Lake Wales and at Inverness, and things are a bit more improved right around Tampa Bay for the time being. It's 70 in Tampa, the same in Haines City, 67 for you in Brooksville. Crystal River, like I mentioned, checking in 64, 66 in Bradenton. And here is the satellite imagery, and the front has retreated to the north. So we have the bulk of the cloud cover north of us. So once we break up the fog and the low clouds this morning, which will be a little bit of a process, I do expect to see some sunshine as we go through the day. And on account of that, not expecting any rain. That stays to our north right now. So your forecast today, 78 at lunchtime. Throughout the day, it will remain cooler near the coast. An onshore wind will develop, and we'll get some sea fog to come back in later on in the afternoon. So we'll go with 82. Coastal locations will be cooler, and then later this evening we'll stay in the 70s. Now, the big weather story is the general weather pattern, and what this does for us is it favors warmer temperatures here, cooler weather across the west, but the really cold stuff has retreated a bit farther to the north. Yesterday it was really cold, temperatures struggling to get out of the single digits in Minnesota And I'll show you those numbers now. It's 19 right now in Minneapolis, almost a heat wave compared to yesterday. Again, that colder air has gone back into Canada, where some of these temperatures are ridiculous. 47 degrees below zero in Key Lake. Now, as that cold weather builds there, it'll eventually come southward. And because of how the pattern will be, we'll see a chance for some cooler weather here by the end of the week. And we're going to talk about that with the 7-day forecast. It's coming up in less than 10 minutes. But first, here's another look at Klystron 9. Good morning and thank you for joining us here for Weather on the Nines. I'm meteorologist Josh Linker, and we're getting close to the end of 2018. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve day, and tomorrow night for your plans, it should be pretty quiet. A pleasant evening, actually, with a partly cloudy sky. We'll be around 70 degrees. In case you're wondering, for the big New Year's Eve celebration in New York City in Times Square, well, it's going to be a rainy scenario through midnight. Temperatures around 50, so kind of mild. This is all out ahead of a storm system. By January 1st into January 2nd, some much colder air will be coming into the Northeast, but they're kind of on the warm side of this latest weather system as well. And we can see this on the satellite imagery. We have a ridge of high pressure in place, protecting us from the storm systems, keeping us warm. And this flow of air kind of comes all the way up into the Northeast, so that's why it's been mild. But colder air out here will eventually come in and shift the whole pattern eastward, and we will also get into some cooler weather. Today it remains warm. This front will pretty much just go away, and as we head into tomorrow, we'll continue with a warm scenario. There might be a little bit less humidity, so the fog may not be as big of a problem first thing in the morning tomorrow. And there goes that storm system that'll produce the rain in the Northeast. For us, we stay quiet. We'll stay on the dry side of this thing for the next several days, but eventually by about Thursday, that front will get a chance to come through here, and that's when we'll see our changes. In the meantime, today, temperatures in the low to mid 80s inland, some 70s nearer to the coast on account of an onshore wind developing and some sea fog. So if you have boating plans, you want to be aware of that. Similar to yesterday, once we get through this morning, we'll have several hours of good conditions, but by later in the day, that sea fog will build again and then come back in. All right, here's your 7-day forecast. And we have warm weather continuing through Wednesday. Highs around 80 or so, lows in the mid 60s, so way above average. Then the front comes in Thursday. We'll start to cool down. We'll see some showers, and then cooler weather comes in behind that with highs in the 60s for Friday into Saturday, but the sun will return and lows will be chilly, getting down into the 40s Saturday morning. That's your 7-day forecast. Another check of the weather is coming up at the top of the hour, but first, here's another look at Klystron 9.
Moving up on 8 a.m., so lots to get to today, but first we want to check our forecast. Meteorologist Josh Linker joins us. And Josh, it's been a foggy morning out there. Is that starting to clear up?
It is in some spots, Holly, but we're still hanging on to some of that fog in some other locations. I've got a good shot for you out there this morning. This is our view from Lakeland, brought to you by Bartow Ford, and we can see some of the fog that we have in place. I got another spot here. This is in Tarpon Springs, brought to you by Dimmitt Chevrolet, and we can see the foggy conditions out there, but also the blue in the sky, and that is going to set us up for some sunshine to come in. We look at the visibility, greatly reduced north and east and south of Tampa Bay. Right around the bay, visibility is a little bit better. Right now we're at 70 in Tampa, 64 in Lakeland, St. Pete 67, 67 at the moment in Spring Hill. We're going to get into the low 80s again this afternoon and more warm weather through the new year, but then changes coming up. We'll talk a lot about that coming up with Weather on the Nines, but now we're going to send things back over to Holly with breaking news.